Hey Japanoblogers, if things are looking a little differently right now, it's because we're in Japan. I've made it back. Kyle finally made it.
After how many months?
Oh gosh. 5. The way it worked, I got out here March 17th. July 25th was my flight home, so that was roughly a little over 5 months.
Ish.
Yeah, of me being out here alone, which wasn't too bad. I mean, I was able to get things set up, I was able to start the process of us being able to be here, including an apartment, which we're in our new apartment. That's a later video.
Yep. We'll actually gather all the videos together between our house, your old apartment, and our current apartment. But again, that's another video.
Yep, it's going to be a little bit long. It's a 3-parter, but it'll be good. It's gonna definitely show kind of the migration from an American house to a Japanese apartment. I will warn, the second video is kind of short because my apartment was the size of a shoebox, a decently sized shoebox.
Yep.
But updates. We're here. The kitty cat's made it. So we're going to talk just really quickly. We're just going to talk really quickly about how the trip out here went.
Yep. So, first things first. We had to pack like crazy, mainly because our house, the one in Waynesville, is still in what do you call it?
It is on the market right now to be sold. If you're looking for a house in Waynesville.
Yeah. So we had to pack everything that I needed along with everything that she left behind. And we had to make sure that everything was ready for the house to be shown at any point. And that was a pain.
Oh yeah. Moving itself is already hard, but trying to move while the house is on the market, you're technically not moving to your new house because it's a little bit hard. So we would kind of deconstruct the house to pack, and then we could get a call in any time saying, oh, we would like a showing in X minutes. And then we'd have to repack everything and put it away so the house was show ready and then out the door.
Yep. So then a week prior to us leaving, we left to go to Raleigh for her parents' house. And that was the longest the cats had ever traveled.
Yes, up to the flight, that was the longest they'd ever traveled.
And unfortunately they were shoved between 2 separate rooms, which they didn't like at all, because the airflow, the heat, the humidity, the traffic, it just got annoying.
Yeah. We tried to put them in the sunroom at my parents' house. First off, we picked my parents' house because at the time that we were coming down, Kyle's parents had a flooring issue. So their house was under construction.
Yeah.
We could get into a whole video based on that one.
We're not going to.
Nope. So we thought we could put them in the sunroom, but there was no air vents. So that was going to be impossible for them to be comfortable the entire time.
And then being switched to the laundry room was in between the living room and her parents' room, so the traffic there was, super bad.
So then having to just switch them back every night because the first night they stayed in the area with the vent, and apparently she started talking at about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
She's over there.
So anyway.
A cat fur on my face.
Welcome to living with cats.
I haven't lived with cats in a while.
So, anyway, that whole week we just repacked and repacked, trying to make sure that all of our luggage was under 50 pounds each.
Per bag.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway. So the airline we were on, 2 checked baggage, 2 carry-ons.
Per person.
Per person. So each checked baggage had to be under 50 pounds. We'll put the kilogram conversion in the description box below because we don't know it right now.
But then after getting all the bags to 50 pounds or less, we also had to have the cats as one of our carry-ons. So we were already limited to our baggage already.
Yeah, our decision was to have them in the cabin with us. They were not going to be as part of luggage at all. Too many horror stories.
So, The trip to the airport was interesting. We left a little later than expected. There was some traffic on the highway for many reasons, which turned out there was an accident, and if we got there 15 minutes later, it would have taken us an hour to get to the airport.
But we got there with enough time
Yeah.
to get our tickets to go through security, and we still had about an hour or so
Oh, yeah.
before we were even supposed to board.
Oh yeah, RDU has definitely streamlined their process, which was very helpful for us.
So we fly from RDU to Atlanta, which was really quick, really easy. It wasn't even an hour. It was like 58 minutes in the air.
But also keep in mind that Maru was in a very small carrier.
Fat cat, small carrier. No.
And it was kind of funny because we had to take the cats out of the carrier to go through security, and then their carrier went through security, which was weird. And then when we got to the gate to get on the plane, the person behind the desk had to check the carrier for the cat, but she was allergic to cats.
Luckily, there were 2 people working at the desk, but we understand the person who was allergic wasn't just allergic; she was like highly allergic. So
Yeah. So the flight from RDU to Atlanta again was about an hour, and according to our tickets, they didn't have the gate that we were supposed to be at on there.
Yep.
So we had to land in Atlanta, find out where our gate was, and it turned out to be basically the other side of the airport. And we had less than 20 minutes to get from our departing gate over to the new gate and board, because the flight took off in an hour.
Yeah, we had an hour layover. Luckily, with the Atlanta airport, if you had not been there, they have a tram system that actually took us in between the terminals. So that made
Yeah.
things really, really easy. Oh my gosh, cat
So we rushed over to the departing gate. We made sure we were there. Plenty of people were there too. We changed Maru into a larger carrier because 13 hours in that tiny carrier is not comfy.
Yeah, and also the flight from RDU to Atlanta, we were on a 757, which had a certain size limit for a carrier. The 777 that we were taking from Atlanta to Narita allowed for a bigger cage, so that's why we decided to switch into something bigger.
Yeah, so we actually had room to stand up, move around, do all that stuff.
Yep. Now another heads up, most of these flights only allow about 4 pets on the flight, so you actually have to kind of pre-check your pets, essentially. Delta had to know how many pets we were having, and then they had to actually verify that there weren't any other pets reaching 4 before us, or even 3. But we were the only 2 on the plane next to a puppy who was so cute. But the flight went really well. No problems at all from the cats. No meowing. Our doctor gave us some medication just in case they did. Our doctor did not recommend giving it to them because the altitude could cause problems.
And we also got the medicine in case there were any, say, annoying passengers that wanted to shut up the cats.
Yes, but they did not talk, they did not meow, they did not pee or poop in their carriers. So it was really good. It was a good trip.
Oh yeah, they were very, very good.
Yep.
And then when we landed in Narita, which was 13 hours later, wow, the flight felt like it took forever.
The first half was fine.
Yeah, and then the second half just droned on.
And we were crawling.
Yeah.
Just about literally.
So,
But we did get to see Alaska.
well, part anyway.
We saw ice.
Anyway, we landed in Narita 13 hours later, and at this point it was Wednesday afternoon in Japan.
Yep, so we left at 9:36
Tuesday morning.
a.m. Tuesday morning Eastern Standard Time, which would have made it 10:36 at night Japan Standard Time. So by the time we got here, it was 3:10, something like that.
Yeah.
2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, somewhere in there. So it wasn't horrible, but we lost most of Wednesday.
So anyway, we land in Narita, we get my Suica card, we get, back up.
I thought that you missed like an entire
Yeah, I'm sorry.
30 minutes or an hour.
I have penguins in the brain, I'm sorry.
He likes penguins.
So anyway, we we get off the plane, we go through immigration. She already had a resident card, so she had to go through a different line than me. I had to get in a longer line, and that took 15 minutes.
Which really, for immigration, is like quick.
Yeah.
That was really quick.
Now, I am currently on a visitor or a tourist visa, which means that my maximum stay is 90 days.
Yep. From date of landing.
Yeah. The person at the RDU airport at the Delta counter said that I may have to buy a return ticket somewhere in order to validate my tourist visa. It wasn't a requirement, it was just a recommendation.
Or you had to prove that for 90 days you had the funds in order to be able to live here without looking for a job.
Yeah.
Yep.
Luckily, I did not have a return ticket for anywhere, but I did have funds not necessary. The immigration officer didn't ask, so yep. I got lucky there.
Yeah, when I came originally in March, that was actually something I had. Little trick, it's technically, it's not legal, but it's not illegal. You can buy a really cheap ticket to Seoul, and South Korea will actually do visas in about 24 hours. So, say in 3 months the things don't work out because Kyle will be switching from a tourist visa to a dependent visa unless something, yay for marriage. If something doesn't work out with the company that I work for, which hopefully something will be working out soon, where he's a full-time teacher, then he can still stay here. He doesn't have to leave in 3 months because technically, well, he's dependent on my income.
Yeah. So we passed through immigration, not a problem, and then we're told to go to the animal quarantine service first before we go through customs.
We thought we had to do it before immigration.
Yeah, so we're trying to find out the location of people kept telling us it was downstairs from immigration. We didn't know, so we went through immigration first and then went downstairs.
Then we saw the escalator.
Yeah.
So we go downstairs. That's actually where all the baggage is being picked up, and we know where our baggage, the baggage turnstile carousel. We know where that carousel is going to be after we're done with AQS, which is on the opposite side where AQS is. So we go to the animal quarantine services first,
and we did want to film the AQS process, but after flying 13 hours and being tired and dead and all that stuff, plus how the AQS process went, we just couldn't get any video.
We didn't even really get a chance to ask about filming it. It was over that quick because we had everything in order.
Yeah, we walked up to the counter, showed the paperwork, we took the cats in for a quick health examination, and I do mean quick.
He literally just pulled out a stethoscope and checked on their heart.
Yeah. Came back to the desk, signed a few papers, we were done.
Yep. So essentially a little bit more in depth for the checkup. It wasn't just a stethoscope. We'll put all the videos down below of everything. In part 1, we mentioned that we have to actually get our cats microchipped. So one of the things he had to do was wave the microchip reader over them and make sure that their microchip numbers matched up to the microchip numbers that we had provided them, which they did, so no problem. After that, it was providing the address that we'll be living at. What else happened?
I don't recall.
It was generally just signing a bunch of papers, which Kyle did because he did all of the paperwork essentially, because he stayed behind. So after we were done with AQS, which was really quick, the AQS guy came with us. He helped us collect our baggage.
We're the only ones left on the carousel.
No, there was one extra bag.
Okay, aside from that one, was no one claimed.
They're like, "Is this your bag?" We're like, "No, that's not our bag."
But the rest are.
Yes, the other 4 were. So after we picked up our bags off the carousel, we put them on the carts, and then we just rolled through customs, which, because we were a family, we really only needed one customs form. Which, as long as you don't have Sudafed, you don't have over, like, what, $10,000? And a couple of other things. Customs is easy breezy. I mean, do you have anything illegal? Nope. Okay. And then we were through.
So then someone had the bright idea to get our super heavy luggage delivered.
Well, I was talking to a couple of other friends who've been here one's been here for 7 years, one's been here for 10 years, and one's been living here for 25 years, all doing ALT work, which is what I'm doing, and what hopefully Kyle will be doing. I had talked about having to actually get one of my friends with a car to come out and help us, which if you've seen Japanese cars, they are not that big, especially if you get K cars. And I think that's what most of the ALTs who have cars from my company have, is a K car. So they suggested, oh no, just go to a counter. There'll be all the delivery companies essentially in Japan there, and you can have all your bags delivered.
So after we tried to find the counter, which apparently was located behind the staircase out of our view, we had to ask somebody to find it, but we found it.
Yep. So we went up, I explained we needed things delivered in my very bad Japanese, but luckily they speak English at Narita because that is one of the international airports. I think there are 3. Point is, we pretty much give the address that we're living at, everything goes smoothly, and for about 200 pounds of luggage, we paid...
To be delivered next day between 2 and 4 p.m., which was our choosing.
Yes, they let you actually choose the time that it was going to be delivered, but they said it would be delivered the next day. Excuse me. And then we paid for it, and it was just around 6,700 yen.
Which is about $67, base equivalent.
Simple conversion, we'll add the actual amount later somewhere down here. Probably. So then after that's done, bathroom break. And after that we head to the area where we can get a train ticket. And I say we need to get a Suica because we're getting a train to Omigawa, which is where I live. After the person realized, oh, we didn't need a specialty train, we were just taking like Japan's subway, essentially. She directed us down to where we could pick up the Suica card. We will put a picture right in here of what a Suica card looks like. There's also the Passmo, but we have the Suica, which works just fine.
So we got to the counter, we got a Suica card, put some money on it. Thank you. Found our way through a series of trains, finally got to the apartment, and again, the cats did not make a peep.
Okay, she meowed like twice.
Meow, meow.
Wouldn't even notice it.
Yeah, she meowed like twice, maybe from getting off the plane to here.
Yeah.
So.
But again, they were very good, didn't do anything, didn't mess up anything, and they were adjusting quite well. And we got here about, what, 5 o'clock or so?
5 or 6.
And we just crashed.
But again, we're all here. Everyone's doing great. Everyone's settling in wonderfully. She's not even scared of the train anymore.
Yep.
Yep.
So we have a bunch of videos coming, including a few experiences getting a Japanese cell phone, the Japanese food, Japanese shopping process.
Yeah. Or everything, essentially.
But since we're here, we'll be able to shoot more videos and actually get more authentic stuff instead of just faux Japanese stuff in America.
Yeah. If you were wondering why there was such a long hiatus, a lot of it was the fact that, this is going to sound so corny, since we weren't together, we were not motivated to do anything.
Except I put your curry video up, so...
Well, okay, he put up a video, but filming was on a hiatus because a lot of it was getting the house ready and me finding an apartment here and just doing a bunch of other stuff.
So, yeah, this was sort of a long rant, so sorry about that.
Yep. But if you stayed to the end, welcome to Japan, and Japanoblog is finally here.
Officially!
Yay! But we'll see you guys in the next video.
Yep.
So, jamatane. Bye.
Bye. Please subscribe and like and do everything else and share with your friends and do all the other stuff.
Yes. Any questions, comments? Any questions, comments, concerns? Description box, well, comment section below, or go to our website, if I could talk. And let us know what you want to see, let us know what you want us to do, and we'll figure things out from there. But we love you guys, and thank you for coming on this crazy journey with us.
Yep.
Bye.